Hi, I'm Mark, and I got diagnosed with hypophosphatasia at the end of last year and started strensiq treatments this year. And I found that for me, the instructions and the tools I was given to inject myself were difficult for me to use. This is just telling you what I do. I'm not telling you what you should do. You should talk to your doctor. If you like what I do, maybe ask your doctor about whether it's appropriate for you. Very much, listen to your doctor, not to me. This is just explaining what my experience is. What I learned was that the syringes and things that they gave me were hard to deal with, and it was hard to do injections with. So I found this wonderful thing called autoject 2, but it requires a tuberculin needle, not a syringe and needle, not the one that they give you with the strensiq. And you'll see it has a throttle in it, so it delivers the stuff evenly and without my having to awkwardly hold it to inject myself. So the first thing I'll tell you is that you can get these tuberculin needles. It's a tuberculin syringe. It's the same gauge, 25 gauge, to get the stuff out, and then you can get the needles for injection, which are the 30 gauge needles. I just got prescriptions from my doctor and bought them actually on the internet at an internet pharmacy. I get everything together in one place, and what I do is I do all the same things once. I sort of at the same time, sort of a little assembly line thing. So I cut all the packages with a scissor to open them up. And just take them out and lay them down. You can, if your local area goes ahead and recycles them, you can recycle those things. Otherwise, throw them out, get them out of your way. Get the scissor out of the way. We're now done with the scissor. Remove the caps off of the bottles. And some tricks on filling the syringe, which I think were not evident in the movie they give you. I got to wear my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. This syringe, just like the other one, has something you can pull down, and you pull it off. There's a little ridge here you put your finger on in order to hold the needle in place, and you pull the cap off. You're supposed to fill it with air and then go into the vial. But what they don't tell you is when you press down, if you don't hold it, it will pop back up. So you have to hold onto it as you turn it over. And then what I do is I try to pull it out as far as I can without the needle coming out. You can always put it back in. And then let the liquid come in, and it always will come in with a little bit of bubble. Some bubbles aren't too bad, but you want to get the big ones out. So I just knock it to try to keep it at the top, and then as you start pulling, if you pull evenly, the bubble will stay at the top. I have to do 3.8s and 1.62. I actually pull this down until it's actually at 0.9. And then I knock the bubble up to the top, and then I again make sure that the needle's as far as it can without falling off, and then I push it back up to get the bubbles out. So I don't know if you can see this really well, but there's bubbles now in it, and I have, at this point, because I pushed the bubbles out, it's back up down to 0.8. I will take as much as I can out of this, and the reason is because sometimes when you do the final prep, it ends up being less than 0.8, and you can do the math and get it so that your totals are what your totals are supposed to be. So I just get it down to 0.9, You can see the bottle is very empty. There's a little bubble on top. We'll get that out when we go to the final needle. I like having a place with contrast. So this is a white background. It's easy to see the needle. It's easy to put the needle back on, and you press it hard, and then you pull it on the other side of the ridge. You pull the needle off, and you put the yellow one on, which is the 30 gauge, and you press it hard so it's on, and then you put it to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and do that 2 more times. Again, you know, if you fill them all up, you know, as far as you kind of can, then if something goes wrong with the amount when you're doing the final prep and getting the final bubbles out, you have some extra. And if you have too much, you can always discard stuff on the final needle, and that's, you know, typically what I end up doing. So again, I line it up so I can see the numbers. I let it kind of go down itself, and tap it, tap in order to get the needle to the top. I'm sorry, the bubble to the top, and then, you know, I kind of pull it down. If the bubble comes down, I tap it again, and then finally pull it till I go down to about 0.9. And again, I need this one to go to 0.8. So I'll pull the needle out as far as I can without tipping off, and then press the bubbles out, and then pull again, and then get it down to about 0.9. Again, another empty one of these. And you know, again, using you know, a background with high contrast, you can very easily see where to put the needle, and then, you know, pull it off. I'm shade blind, so it really helps for me to have high contrast. And again, for me, I'm a big guy, and this is all done by weight. So I have to have 3 needles for my case. And then, you know, it's very easy for me if I don't have enough in the first needle or the second needle, I can always make it up in the third needle by doing a little bit of basic math. If that's uncomfortable for you, you know, you can keep a pen and pad and keep track of that while you're doing this. And again, you know, this just takes experience and, you know, going through it. And again, down to 0.9, pull it out as far as we can, push the air back up, and then pull back down until we hit 0.9. And there's still going to be a little bit of air at the top, and you're going to see in a second what we do is we go ahead and we'll get that air out when we do the first injection. So now all our needles are ready. You can get the vials and the loading needles out of the way, and then I keep the a little bit of med prep. I also am a diabetic, so I have insulin shots. I do it all on my belly. I find it hard to do it elsewhere, and so you know, you just have to you know, rub the area to make sure that it's all clean. And then I have the second alcohol rub for the pad for the end. And then the auto ejector, the way it works is you push the tip into here and it loads. It's a spring-loaded thing. And then you take one of the needles, and again, you use your thumb to hold the ridge. And in this case, what you want to do is you want to, you know, push up until you get a little bit of liquid coming out. That means all the bubbles are out. Once you do that, take a look at how much you have. So in this case, I have about 7.9. So I'm a 0.1 short, and I'm going to keep track of that to add to the final one. You put the needle into the autojector. You put the top on, you screw it down. And this is the beautiful part. You don't have to apply pressure evenly or anything like that. All you have to do is put the autojector sort of near your body. You press down on the top part, and then you press the button, and the rest it does itself. And there's a little window here, and you can see the needle first injecting into your body and then pushing the plunger down slowly so that your medicine is delivered appropriately. When I see the little window stop moving, I wait 5 seconds and then I pull it out. I just want to show you what this looks like at the end. There's in the window, you see these bars on a yellow background. That's when it's done the whole thing. And notice that the needle has been pushed out before it was actually hidden. I'll show you that on the next one. And then I undo this slowly so we don't have the needle going lots of places. We have the needle and we put the, again, on the white contrast background, we put the top back on. Often I forget to do this again, but you can always kind of do it at the last second. And again, we'll go with the second needle and do the same thing. Pull the top off. And usually I leave my shirt off for this, but I'm leaving it on for a little bit of modesty's sake for the video. And so now we're sitting, this is exactly 0.8. So we just have a 0.1 shy. Again, you know, I'll show you, we kind of put the needle in and we go ahead and we screw this on. With this particular needle, there's a little windy thing here. You don't want the tip showing out of here, so you just have a little bit unwound, and that's a setting on the autojector. And now I'll do the second one, and I try to do it, you know, an inch or two from the place of the first one, and try to skip the places where I've already bruised from other injections. And I'm just going ahead and doing it. And it's, again, injecting the needle and then pushing the plunger down. And again, there's a throttle in here, so it delivers it slowly. You don't have to worry about putting it at the right pace. It's already done. Waiting my 5 seconds, pull it out, and we go on to the third one. So I'm supposed to do 6.2 on the third one, but I'm going to do 6.3 because I missed 0.1 on the first shot, and then we'll discard the rest of the liquid. So in this case, I'll kind of hold it over the sink, push it up until I hit 6.3, shake off the residue, put it into the autojector. I forgot to do it, so this is a good example of you can go ahead and, you know, cock the spring, you know, after the needle's already in there without a problem. And again, I'm going to go ahead and find a, you know, nice place to inject myself, hold down the top, press the button, let go, and you can see the autojector plunge the needle in and then plunge the medicine in. Wait 5 seconds, done. And then we have the needle, and we're going to put all these in the sharps container. And then, you know, we have the alcohol rub, and so I'm going to rub all the places where I injected. And then I use Calahist. It reduces, I would think, the skin irritation from things. I use it for my allergy shots as well. And it's just, you know, it says external analgesic, skin protectant. And again, reminder with all these things, talk to your doctor. Don't take my word for this. This is just what I do so you can see. And I hope this helped. I'm finding it a lot easier given that I found some tools. And I hope that you know, stay healthy using strensiq. Thank you.